Merry Christmas, everyone. Do you know what day it is today? It's December 17th, only 1 week until Christmas. And I know everybody's getting very excited. And I want to read a couple more books for you, if that's okay. So the first book we have is Frosty the Snowman. And I'll bet you all the boys and girls out there have heard of Frosty the Snowman. But we're going to read the story. Frosty the Snowman came to town one bright, cold winter day. The first real snow of the winter had fallen the night before. In the morning, out came the children, and they started to roll snowballs. Round and round the snowy yard they rolled the snowballs. Soon they had 2 fine big ones. Round and round the yard again, there was a smaller snowball, just the right size for a snowman's head. Billy and Sally found a broom and propped it up against the snowman. Tommy ran home and brought back an old scarf for the snowman to wear around his neck. Joe found 2 big buttons for the front of the snowman. They're all ganging up and finding stuff in their homes to put on Frosty. Now we need a hat, said Sally. So all the children went off to see what they could find. Sally found an old cap, but it didn't look just right. Just then down the street came the whistling wind. It blew a shiny top hat to their feet. Just what we need, cried Sally. It's like magic, said Tommy. Well, there's a picture of a top hat that blew in the wind. Tommy picked up the shiny top hat and put it on the snowman's head. Zing! Tommy's hand sprang back with a shock. It is magic, he gasped. So it is, said a deep, chuckling voice that children had never heard before. And a pleasant sort of magic, if I do say so myself. It's the snowman, whispered Sally, and so it was. Frosty the Snowman at your service, he said. And that was how Frosty the Snowman came to life. If you've never had a snowman for a friend, you can't begin to imagine all the fun those children had. Frosty took them sledding and never had their sleds gone so swiftly and so fast. Frosty helped them build a snow house and never had the blocks packed so firmly and so well. Then Frosty and the children all went ice skating. The magical part was that while they were with Frosty, the children could stay out and play in the snow and never get shivering cold. Was it Frosty's warm heart or his magical smile? Whatever it was, the children thought it was fine. Each morning when the children came out to play, Frosty had a wonderful plan all set. One morning he said, let's go shopping today. I've never been in a store, you know. So they all joined hands and away they skipped off towards the town. It was fun showing Frosty around. He thought every window was wonderful, especially the toy store. All around town the children led Frosty that day while the warm wintry sun shone down. Soon they came to the corner, and around the corner came a warm, gusty wind. Off went Frosty's hat, and away went Frosty after it. Then tweet, sang the traffic cop's loud whistle. The children could not follow Frosty because traffic was streaming by, buses and trucks and cars. So the hat blew off of Frosty's head, and he went to chase it. My goodness, and he's running through traffic. Look at, he's running through traffic, and there's a policeman there. My goodness, poor Frosty. Again, tweet went the traffic cop's whistle. The crossing road empty, but there was no sign of Frosty. Only his top hat rolled down the street, all by itself in the melting snow. What happened to Frosty? Officer, Sally cried. Where has Frosty the Snowman gone? Oh, said the officer, Frosty the Snowman has gone away. where all snowmen go on a sunny day, but he'll be back at your bidding and call whenever great heaps of snowflakes fall. So it sounds like Frosty melted and he kind of disappeared, but they hung on to the hat. So when Frosty comes back, they can put it on his head again, and there's Frosty. He will be back. And that's the story of Frosty the Snowman. Well, I hope that can happen to your snowman when we get some snow. Ho, 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 ho. Now the last book I'm going to read is The Night Before Christmas, and this is a very special book. Santa actually has a book very similar to this, but it's a lot bigger. It's so big that it would block the camera, so it's not going to use it this time. It's called The Night Before Christmas. "'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children all nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster of midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear, but a miniature sleigh and a tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof, prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. Ho, 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 ho. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk. And laying his finger side of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew, like the down on a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, as he drove out of sight. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. And there's a picture of Santa Claus, St. Nicholas, leaving with his sleigh full of toys and the reindeer. Well, that's a great story. I hope everybody enjoyed that. I enjoyed reading that for you. Ho, ho, ho. And I hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas. Only a few days to go. So everybody, I hope you're all being good. Okay, Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 ho.